now our guests that'll be a part of our panel, if they would come forward. We're going to talk real quickly with you today about our new small business initiative in Pike Road. So we have Councilor Watley and Brian Parker, who is our Economic Development Director, Dr. Goodwin from the school, Councilman Furman, and Colonel John Briggs, who's going to join us up here. So thank you all for being here, panel. So what is today all about? Well, as you know, today is our regular quarterly Lunch and Learn, which we've been doing for a number of years, and that really started as a part of our overall community outreach program through community development called Enhance. And the Business Association is your opportunity to get to know your neighbors in the business community. Those that you work with or work along beside or your business complements, this is an opportunity for you to just build those relationships. We've added to our menu of Business Association programming our community connections, which are being hosted in the individual businesses across the town. And as you know, Pike Road is geographically rather large. We're 16 miles wide and 10 miles deep, so we have a lot of geography, and we want to help you have the opportunity to travel around our community and meet new people and get to know people who are in the business arena. We're going to operate behind a podium today because we're also filming this, and we're going to put it on our YouTube channel so we can make sure that people can see and learn more about what we're doing. So I've asked this panel to come up here, and they're all looking at me this morning going, why? What do you want me to do? And really, this is a conversation. That's all this is. It's a conversation with our town and particularly with our business community. So the first thing we really want to do, we're going to try to keep this tight and keep it within a manageable timeline. But what we really want to do, first of all, is just talk to you about what economic development looks like in Pike Road. So I was very, very excited. There's most recently, within the last year, we were able to bring on an economic development professional who has both work experience and educational background in economic development. Brian Parker is our economic development specialist here at the town, director of economic development for us. Brian has a master's in economic development from the University of Southern Mississippi, but he's a local guy. He went to AUM, he grew up in Butler County, and he's lived in Pike Road and around in this area for a long time. So we're excited about having Brian Parker. I'd like to ask Brian to come up real quick, and we're going to start off by just basically talking about what economic development looks like in Pike Road, because it's more than just local business, and I want you to kind of get that umbrella understanding first, and then we'll break it down into kind of the local narrative. Brian, would you like to share that?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor, and thank everybody for being here today. It's exciting to get up and talk with you about what's going on in Pike Road, and we'll follow some of those questions later. But the mayor asked me to talk a little bit about what Pike Road looks like, or what economic development looks like in Pike Road. Well, as you know, Alabama is an old state, and there are a lot of old cities and towns in the state of Alabama, and they already have established kind of what they are over the years, whether they're industrial towns or whether they're retail centers, and some of them change through the time. But we have a unique opportunity here in Pike Road to be something different. We're a young town. We just started, so we have an opportunity to be who we want to be. So there are lots of different ways you can do economic development. We have kind of a four-pronged approach here for Pike Road, and some of that is smart business development. When we talk about industrial development, we know that Montgomery, down 65, all of that has a lot of industrial development. We want to look at smart development here in Pike Road as it has to do with industry. What are those industries that we can recruit that have the highest paying jobs, and that we can recruit that, you know, play into our environment and what we want to see here in Pike Road. So smart kind of business development is what that looks like. Office jobs. We have calls every week about offices wanting to move here to Pike Road, whether it be insurance, investment, lawyer's office, doctor's office, healthcare kind of related businesses, looking at this area as we grow and expand. Those are the kind of office jobs that are looking here. So we're looking at the ones that best fit our community and recruiting them to be here in Pike Road. We have a plan of where those look the best to go, and we're trying to locate them in those kind of areas. Retail. Everybody wants retail in their community, so you don't have to leave and go somewhere else for your groceries or for your gifts or otherwise. So we're looking at high-end retail, whether it be restaurants or otherwise, that are looking in this area. There are a lot of those kind of businesses that are looking at Pike Road. We see some of the ones that have come here, and we're looking and talking to businesses that have some of the higher echelon in those areas. So those are the kind of businesses we want to recruit to this community, because this is what the people in the community want. So those are the people that we're talking to. And then in the category that a lot of you are in is small business, and how we work with you and what we do to help you grow your business is something that's very important. In one of the council meetings last year, it was brought up by the mayor and some of the council members that we'd like to do more for small business. So a lot of what we're going to talk about today is kind of the vision that we have for small business in Pike Road.
Don't go too far. So I think that's a good outline for you, right? You know, when you're a growing community that really started with when we incorporated, y'all know we had 0 stores. So some people think, you started with a downtown or a courthouse square. No, we had 0. And then when we started expanding, we actually went about 10 miles in mid 2000s with the referendum expansions and the expansions to the legislature, and we brought in 3 over that whole area. 3, and some of them were on their, I can say this because my dad used to have a country store, they were on that near retirement level of their business. So now we see ourselves with our 4th comprehensive plan, a plan that has been put together by professionals who travel this entire country learning about what makes great communities and great places and great living conditions. And as a result, we now have 5 town centers that we're focusing on. And those are all the community crossroads that we all know and love and have a connection with. Wherever your house is, you feel that bond to that particular part of our broad swath of land here in Pike Road. So we want to make sure each of those has an emphasis point and an opportunity to be its best self. Now, there are certain things that happen as you grow that really aren't the town. There are things that just come with this type of suburban community that we manage those opportunities too, meaning basically those are the things that come to us, and Brian and the team do a great job working on those things. But today we want to talk about things that we are specifically doing. So let's focus in now on that component for today, the small business, local business, kind of retail-oriented corridor. So in order to kickstart and build on the energy we already have, we have entitled, and you have there at your table, Pike Road IGNITE. Pike Road IGNITE is a program with 4 components. And those 4 components that we will be introducing, today we're going to talk specifically about 2 of those. But it's 4 things the town of Pike Road is doing that I think are just exciting for us as we talk as a council, as we talk with our teammates to be offering in our community. So first, and I'm going to just touch the 4, and then I'm going to ask Brian to come back up and talk a little bit more specifically, and then we'll ask some of our colleagues to talk a little more specifically. But first, let's go over all 4 of them. The first one I want to talk to you about is called Employ-A-Patriot. Employ-A-Patriot is a program you're going to hear more about in just a minute, but it is an opportunity for us to give our young people who go to school at Pike Road School, through our school system, an opportunity to give them an opportunity to be available for employment in our town. and give you the opportunity to know who those folks are who are looking for employment here in our town. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let the experts talk a little bit more about that here in just a second. But Employ-A-Patriot, really unique opportunity to boost our own young people and connect with our own businesses. The second one I want to talk to you about is something that only Pike Road is doing. We're the only town in Alabama doing this, and it's best management practices for business. And it is an initiative that we started last spring. We worked through a number of legal studies to try to make sure we were doing the right thing, but there are a series of 8 or 10 key characteristics of a successful business that we want to make sure Pike Road features. And so what we've done is we've put together a program to support those. And we've hired Colonel John Briggs, who was retired from Montgomery County Sheriff's Department, also with the Air Force, retired from the Air Force, but more than anything, a person who knows our town well, and he is working with our businesses, and I'm gonna pause and let you talk more about that, but the goal is so that we establish a culture for business in Pike Road that will be anticipatable and deliverable. Does that make sense? So, best management practices for businesses. We're going to talk about those two today specifically. The other two are what we call a Pike Road Mentee program, which we are going to also work with local students and our businesses to create a mentor-mentee relationship, and the town's going to help facilitate that throughout our town with some training and some specific understandable characteristics of what it means to be an employee and what it means to be an employer, kind of building that relationship. And then the fourth is a Pike Road customer service training program, where we're going to recognize businesses in the town of Pike Road who go through that program as a blue ribbon customer service quality delivering business. And we feel like if we can provide that training from the town, it takes a burden off of you, and it allows us to be able to have a resource that can help all folks understand what customer service really looks like in the eyes of a successful business. So we'll be asking you for input and for guidance, as well as bringing in some outside experts to talk about those last two as we develop those a little bit further. But let's bring back to today, Pike Road IGNITE. And so I'm going to ask Brian to come back up and talk a little bit more about specifically, he and Dr. Goodwin and Councilman Furman have been working really hard on our Employ-A-Patriot program. And anything else you want to add about the other three, Brian, please come back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to let the councilman and Dr. Goodwin talk a lot about their program. They've been working on this for years. I think Councilman Furman really put in the effort over the last couple of years to get this program to where it is. So I'm going to let them really talk about that. And you know, the mayor told you what the programs are, but I'd just like to add or re-add that these are programs that other communities throughout the state of Alabama, and really that we saw nationwide, there are a lot of programs that they don't have. Now, we did look into programs that they did have and kind of build off of those programs, but we're excited to offer these because there's something unique for Pike Road. We're a unique community because we're a new community and we're able to do new things. So this is what we put together. And it took us a while to get here, but we've kind of vetted these. And again, we're going to talk about two of those opportunities today. And then at an additional lunch and learn, I believe in the next few months, we'll roll out the other two. So, Councilman Furman, you want to get started?
Sure. Good afternoon. Had to check, make sure what time it was. It's really exciting for me to be here with you today. A few years ago, I've had kids in the school system, since its inception, but a couple of years ago, we just started kind of brainstorming about how can we take advantage of what Pike Road offers. There's so much conversation about we're such a small town and the needs that we have, and kind of some of the negative characteristics of being a small community. But I started thinking more about what advantages does a small community like ours have? And I was talking with some business representatives here today. one of the beautiful things is our small business community is very invested in our school system. We all understand, as Pike Road residents and Pike Road business owners, that the success of our school system directly impacts all of us, both personally and professionally. And how can we take advantage of some of that vested interest that we have as a small business community, in comparison with our schools. And I had expressed to Dr. Langford a few years ago, I said, I would really like for Pike Road to be able to say at the end of every school year that we've got 200 graduates this year, and 170 of them are going to 2-year and 4-year schools that they've already enrolled in, and the other 30 that are not going to 2- and 4-year schools have a local opportunity for employment that they've already been researching and potentially already have an offer. So that when we graduate in May, everybody's got a game plan. Everybody's going somewhere. Everybody has an ability to take that next step in their life, whatever that may be. Because I'm in the construction business as a trade, and my business is sort of a dying entity. For so many years, and you guys are, not telling you anything that you don't already know, but for so many years we've been telling our kids and indoctrinating our schools that, hey, if you want to succeed in life, you got to go to college. You got to graduate from high school, you got to go get a 4-year degree. If you want to be successful, that's what you got to do. And unfortunately for businesses like mine, that's had a detrimental effect, because now there's a void in the workforce for businesses like I do. And some of our kids that I've gotten to know over the years at Pike Road High School, hardworking, intelligent, very enthusiastic about what they want to do, but they have a desire they just are craving to go to work. I want to go and do something as soon as I graduate. I don't really have a desire to go through a 4-year and get some sort of professional degree. I really want to go to work. And so it was out of an effort to try to scratch that itch that we started talking about, what could that look like? And I saw that as an advantage with Pike Road business community, that we have needs. It may be a business that's down the street and they need a receptionist, or they've got a need for a landscape plant manager or something, and it doesn't require necessarily anything other than some good work ethic and some training. And so that's when I'd reached out to Pike Road Schools and started talking to Dr. Goodwin about how can we take our enthusiasm and interest from our business community and marry that with the population of our school that would like to go straight to work. And so we started talking about this concept and how that could come together. More than just the old tried and true way of, hey, let's set up a bunch of tables in here and Jennifer can take a table and pass out business cards to a bunch of high schoolers over the course of an afternoon. How can we make more of a creative connection between our business community and our school system? And so that's where the Employ-A-Patriot concept came from. And so we're trying to make a very streamlined way for our business community to express their needs, and our school officials to kind of demonstrate the workforce that we've got that could meet some of those needs, and how can we make those connections. So that's kind of where we came to that, and so we'd certainly love Dr. Goodwin to kind of add on the school's perspective on that, but that's where it all came from, because I see an opportunity with Pike Road that we can be more than just the conversation about what's negative about being a small town and trying to get some things started. I think there's a lot of opportunities in our small business and school communities as well. So that's kind of what got that going. Yep.
Absolutely. So good afternoon, and good job, Doug, sharing, or Councilman Furman sharing just kind of where this was derived from. And I'm the communication of information and work on behalf of the school system. This is all Mr. Furman and our leaders. I know I got 3 of them here with us. Mr. Robinson's our career tech director, Ms. Jackson's our work-based learning coordinator, and Ms. Reese is our career coach. So they're the ones that's been working intricately to get this mechanism that's still a work in progress. It's not complete. We're going to build it as we fly it. That's oftentimes what you do in the world of education. But working alongside Mr. Furman, we've started a mechanism to bridge that community business gap with our school systems, with the intent of being able to match particular characteristics, traits that are desired in students with those businesses that need, whether it be critical thinking skills, whether it be office skills, whether it be cosmetology, whether it be working with their hands in the construction world. But so we simply have created a Google form with 15 or 20 questions with different drop downs that allows you to tell us what you're looking for, what time of the day you need these students, what time of the year you need these students, what characteristics, traits, modes of transportation, of course, an hourly rate or job titles, things like that. And like I said, we're still building it. We've got it ready to send out. But if you see something that we're missing, please, I did not bring cards, but I will. How can I get information, Mayor, to them?
They can email us at info@pikeroad.us. We'll deliver it directly to you, info@pikeroad.us.
So if there's something missing that you see you wanted to provide us with, do that, or there's some spots within the form it's other, and it allows you to type in information that you want to provide. So the ultimate goal here is to collect a database of businesses, industries, jobs availability, and the pay rate. Because we can't give you our kids' information, we'll be the conduit between the students and the businesses to we can help through our CTE programs match these skill sets. Our instructors say, yes, this kid matches that, and then we can connect those students with those business and industries for potential employment opportunities. Ms. Reese, also, I think this opens up an opportunity for you all that are not participating with her through her, whether it be career fairs, interview days, things of that nature. There's a lot that goes on inside the schools that we welcome business and opportunity or business partnership opportunities with. We just don't always know who to reach out to. It seems that those that are involved are probably the ones that get reached out to first, simply because we know they're willing to commit to us. So, a lot of opportunity to build partnerships within or between the school system and the business community, and I look forward to being able to work alongside this team to do so. Did I miss anything? Okay.
Great job. Thank you, sir. So I think you can see why we're so excited. A lot of thought, a lot of detailed work going on behind the scenes to try to make sure that we're doing things here that will make local businesses, whether you're a person as an entrepreneur in your own idea or you've bought a franchise, doesn't matter. We want you to have the opportunity to create your own kind of special Pike Road flavor for that business. And I want to really thank these two guys for their dedication and commitment, and particularly Councilman Furman, who is passionate about making sure that that goal is met, that every single student knows they have a place where they can connect. And who knows, you may have a whole crew, just Pike Road students. Would that be cool? Be great. Thank you. So also now we want to turn to the best management practices for businesses, and I'm going to go a little bit in reverse order. We'll let Colonel Briggs come first, and then, because honestly, Councilman Furman's had a little bit of head start on Council Lady Watley. She has jumped in swimming all full speed, and we love it. But this is kind of brand new to you a little bit, this whole business initiative. But Colonel Briggs, come tell us a little bit about what you're doing and how you are working with our local already established businesses to make sure that just certain standards are being identified and we're kind of collaborating on meeting those. Would you like to share that with us?
Well, hi, good afternoon. I want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us today. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this new program that we have, this Best Management Practices for Businesses, BMP as we want to call it. And, you know, the role that each of you play as business owners in this community will help the town and your businesses succeed in the future. At the core of this program is basically a cooperative effort between the town and the businesses so that we have a communication between you guys and us and how we can help you and how you can help us. And in doing so, we kind of want to focus on some areas within the town that identify businesses in areas like safety, security, business presentation, appearances. Those are important to the town and important to the success of your businesses here in the town of Pike Road. In this program, what we want to accomplish is being able to have that line of communication so that we can help you succeed in what you want to do. I want to make it clear that this is not going to be a hammer or a penalty type thing. What we want to do is want to work with you to be proactive in maintaining your business and how it works here in the town of Pike Road. Some of the benefits that we'll have from this are going to be items or properties that will improve their appearance here in the town and how we can help you guys get where you need to be. This program is about pride, partnership, and progress. We want the town to grow. We want your businesses to grow. The more that you grow, the better it is for the town and the citizens of the town of Pike Road. So when the town and the businesses work together and we talk, everybody wins. That way we know that we're able to cover the items that you need help with and things that the town wants to do. So I'll kind of leave it with this. Our goal is simple. We want to make it easy for your businesses to succeed while keeping Pike Road, a place that we can all be proud of for both you as a business owner and as the citizens of Pike Road. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel. And I think, so we can all identify certain things. Like if, for instance, if you take a business license from Pike Road or you seek a permit to build a business and you agree to have a parking lot that has lights in it, we just want you to keep the lights on, right? So the Colonel's going to go out there and find out, is there something that we need to learn from that? Is there something, if there's a place where maybe we didn't ask the right questions about lighting. Maybe we need to learn more about what we're putting in our standards. At the same time, maybe we need to encourage people to actually change the bulb. Sometimes it's that simple, but it's just having somebody there that can be your liaison, and that's what I want to lead to. So I asked Council Lady Watley when she first came on board, she said, let me know how I can help. And I said, well, I know one thing that would be great, because she has a keen eye for the community. And I said, if you can be an eyes and ears to assist Colonel Briggs, because we have, how many businesses have you already been to, Colonel? 102, and he's only been doing this about 2 months? 2 months, 102. If someone asked you how many local businesses we had in Pike Road, would you have guessed 102? But he's already had that many visits in 2 months. So building that relationship is going to be great. But Councilor, anything you want to add or offer to kind of complement that? Just sharing kind of as a new member of the council, how you feel about this program?
It's been really exciting to get to work with you. I can't speak highly enough about him. He's done a great job. He's done things already in the community that I notice. I don't know if anyone else has, but it's little things, and his ability to communicate with people, with the public, and do it in a way that makes it really easy to come to him. I hope everybody in the community will talk to him and go to him when you have questions, comments, problems, because we have a great town, we have a beautiful town, and he's here to really help make sure we maintain that, and it's going to be fun. He's done a great job. So that's about it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. So what do we think we'll get out of this? We think we'll have created for you opportunity, and that is one of our focus words this year. Opportunity. Another focus word is truth. There's lots of things out there that people can hear or assume because they see something on the internet or they hear a rumor. we want to have a source of truth here. So if you want to know something about a local business, and like Council Lady said, and there's something that you would like to know more about or try to encourage, we've got a guy that can help us make sure we get into it, we learn about it, we address the things we need to address. And then as it relates to our young people, it's so important that they know that we're sincere when we say we want the best for them, and working together with you all, we think we can help make that happen. Yes, there are certain easily identified things that we can accomplish. But really what we wanted to talk to you about today is more the overarching culture that we hope we're establishing. And that is a culture of care and concern and commitment to local businesses. A culture where you know by investing in Pike Road that you've got a partner in your town. And that's something that if we haven't touched on it today, if it's not in those 4 topics you've heard about, the next 2 topics are going to be really about investing in employees and in that inner business culture that we're going to get to those later, right, Brian, as we come forward. And those are going to be really fun too. But we want to make sure that you know our heart as it relates to local businesses. So I'll pause with that. Are there any questions that we can answer? Any of us here would be glad to try to answer any questions or anything we forgot to say.
Yes.
All right, come on back up here, sir.
So I talked about the process or the mechanism to connect the business to the schools, but I didn't tell you the next step. So on the flyer that you have on the table, there's a QR code there. If you're interested, if you want to, you can open it up and go through it without having to submit it. But if you're interested in being a part of connecting with our work-based learning program, placing these students, whether it be while they're in high school, there's 2 different opportunities here. It's while in high school as an 11th or 12th grade student, and or after they graduate high school for those 25% that are not going into higher education. So anyways, that's where we'll collect that information. That information will be shared with our team, and then they will be in contact with you all throughout the process as far as here's some candidates based on the skills you said you were looking for, or here's some opportunities we have to bring you all in to get in front of our students and have those conversations and participate in the many different career events that we have going on. So anyways, I forgot to mention the next steps. Thank you.
That's great. So Colonel, you have a list. I'll tell my next steps. So Colonel has a list of about 6, 7, or 8 things that we ask him to make sure we're looking at, and I'll just make an example out of one of those is shrubbery. So, people come in and they go through the process of recognizing that they want to be a business here, learning what it's all about, sending forth an application, and then they start their business. And they plant all this great landscape, and then, it gets hot here in the summer. Or we have a cold spell and it's not still there. It just dies. So because we know there's been this ongoing relationship and commitment to working together, the Colonel can go by and literally say, hey, during the process you agreed to doing these things, how can we work together to make sure that's still there, it's still available. So it's just little things that we think we can, through establishing relationships and building on these processes, can do to help you guys. Any other questions or anything else we forgot? Are you excited? Yes, please.
So right now, as we collect.
So the question, so everybody gets the question. When will the process get kicked off? And I think, well, you also asking how long they would, because it could be a permanent employment. It's up to you as how long, but go ahead.
So our students have now begun the registration for the 26-27 school year. Those that have selected work-based learning will be our targeted students. Misha Jackson will work alongside those students. In the past, they've went and sought their own employment. We've not supported them as much as we intend to now that we're partnering here. But these students will be connected with the businesses as we begin the next school year in August. Some will have a semester-based, some will only have 1 class of it, some will have 2. In years past, we've only allowed seniors to do it. I think we're opening up to juniors this time, so juniors and seniors. And it could be as much as 4 hours of their school day all year long, or only 1 semester. So it's important for us to get these business information skills and traits connected now as we're planning their schedules so that we're ready to go in the fall once school starts. But also, these may be kids that you want to employ over the summer that we can connect you all with so that they've got summer work. You're welcome.
Great question. Any other questions? So, Pike Road has never been bashful about being an entrepreneurial town. There were people who said we couldn't make a town when we first started because we were so small and we only had 250 people and didn't have any businesses, and that it would never work. And then all of a sudden we got a legislative expansion here and we spread out over this large swath and we have 12 different islands, and people said, well, that can never work. And then people said, well, how are you going to be able to afford services? And now we have excellent services in every dimension of our town. Best public safety record in the entire region is here in Pike Road. 5 road projects being funded by and collaboratively funded through ALDOT, the town, and the county, currently underway in Pike Road. People said they couldn't do that. The whole idea of a school was, people say, oh my gosh, starting a public school system, that can't happen. These programs that you're hearing about today, we didn't just roll out yesterday. We've been working all since last spring, putting these together. Brian's done a great job trying to find the right things we could do. We believe once we get to all 4 of these and we have the opportunity for a business here to bring its entire team over and go through a quality customer service training program that we pay for. You don't have to pay for. Or the opportunity to be a part of a narrative where you have 6, 7, 10, 12 young people from our school system working with you. Or young people may not be in our school that want to be a part of a mentor-mentee program that we will roll out later. Just young people in the town. And this whole idea of best management practices for businesses. These are brand new. They're entrepreneurial. They're innovative, but they will work as long as we work together and we continue to believe in helping each other. So thank you for coming today. This is a great kickoff. Every chair is full. We had to bring out another table. That's so exciting. I want to thank Jennifer and Jennifer Grace Kendrick for her leadership and effort with our community development team. I want to thank Vince Hodges, who is our new communications director, for his putting this together and having it out there for you to share across your horizon of other business friends you know that may not be here today, because I know there's not all 100 of them in here this morning. So we'd love to share this information with additional people. So I'll just say that. I want you to know that we know they're not perfect, but our energy and our effort is perfect. Just like today. This whole town team is up here helping Jennifer. We'll have our whole team working to make sure we do the best we can with these. And with that, I'm going to let Brian close us. Thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to be your mayor, and it's a privilege to be able to work with these businesses we continue to grow in Pike Road.
Well, I think the mayor did close us. I'm not sure what else I can say, but thank you all for being here today. So I will say, as we're learning through these programs, there's more that we can do. So reach out to us if you have other ideas, whether it be through the education program or best business practices or the other 2 that we'll be rolling out later. These are all programs that we can build on as a community and get even better as time moves along. So thank you for being here today.
And Brian is our economic development person, see? Call either one of us if you have any ideas, okay? Right?
That's right.
Good. Thanks for being here, everybody.